for whatever reason, I couldn't sleep. Something that I find is that as someone who's recording a lot on their phone, I'm using up a lot of storage and I have to keep up with it. So what is the way to keep everything minimal to store your stuff? Always going for a new hard drive, a new SD card, a new USB stick. What is the way to keep up with it? A lot of people do like cloud-based storage. For me, I'm one of the people who just purges their storage. I don't keep things forever. I don't keep things that aren't important. I take a lot of screenshots and I may make a funny joke or take a funny picture. If it's not important to the overall like timing and things that I have, like it's not important to making a video, it's not important for like making me laugh or a memory that I'm trying to save, I get rid of it. As someone who sits in the camp of digital minimalism, I try to make everything intentional. So I will use my phone and I might find a meme or someone sends me something, or I might take a screenshot or save a TikTok. But then once that initial feeling of that TikTok or that meme goes away, I don't see the point in keeping them. For some people, they may like to look back at them and laugh, but for me, once I got it the first time, I can kind of get rid of it. And I don't try and get too attached to those things. So I save the things I need. I save my videos, I save my memories, I save important pictures. But after that, it goes away. Then once I get to that point, I typically save things in my iCloud storage because I tend to record on my phone. I use the iPhone 15 for recording, and that's basically it. Try and stick to cloud-based sources for storage because it's easy to go back to them. Even though I love like using USB, I use flash drives a good bit because of my job and the access and accessibility to them. But it is scary to think like you could use a hard drive or you could use a flash drive and it could possibly be corrupted or lose the files that you had. So I try and go with the cloud-based ones first, and then I move things that are less important to the USB stick, or things I have multiple copies of that I don't mind putting on there for easy access. For me, it's prioritizing what is important and what needs to be placed where. If I am doing something, I figure out what's the most important and go down from there. So I always have it somewhere else. If it's not in my iCloud, it's in my Google Drive. If it's not in the Google Drive, it's in a USB stick. If it's not on the USB stick, it's saved to a folder on my computer. Choose at least 3 places to place that file. For example, for YouTube videos, save some things because I have things planned for later, but I can kind of tell what I'm going to use and what I'm not. So I typically leave it in my iCloud, or I might put it in my Google Drive. But for my songs, I need to make sure that I have multiple places for my songs so that if I ever need to get back to them, I can get to them. Because I've gone through it where I try to look for a song or look for a file and it's not there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna let that happen again. So I save them in at least 3 places. I tend to prioritize what is important and I save it accordingly. I give it multiple places. If it's not as important, I give it less places, just so I don't have to think about all the places that it's in. But it is a peace of mind thing, especially for me, to be able to know that I have a few places I can go to if anything ever went wrong. If my computer suddenly died, if I got locked out of my Google Drive, if my USB stick doesn't work, I'll still have somewhere that is saved. And it makes it the most easy because we tend to want to buy the new shiny thing. We tend to want to buy the thing that makes our, our eyes light up. And I think if you use it intentionally and it works for you, then go for it. That's the way I do it. And if you like it, I'll see you tomorrow.